Good morning and welcome to my channel, Redbone and Rice. I am a Redbone. I hope that you guys had a great week. I know after my last message, all zoomed out. I wish I could tell you that my week got better, but it didn't. And I ended up working a lot of late nights to finish up some projects because it was just the week of meetings last week. I had a lot of meetings. And so today I thought I was going to talk about something else, but then I've been like really, I guess, busy helping a lot of students, which is part of my job, which is why I love what I do. So I just want to talk from the subject of I love my job. So right before I got on the video recording this week, I had a call from a student who was needing help, and just really being able to help my students walk through this information highway, just navigating that as well as resources. I love my job. And sometimes I'll post on Facebook or another social media platform, Instagram or whatever, that I love my job. And my friends are like, shut up, we don't want to hear that. And I'm like, but I'm sorry, I love my job. And I do. And I never thought that my calling would be that of a librarian, in terms of professionally. I may have told you guys this in another video that I struggled in undergrad trying to decide on a major. If I didn't, I did. If I didn't tell you that, I'm telling you now, I struggled. So I went in as an undergrad, undecided major, and I felt like pressure to hurry up and choose a major. And so I chose accounting. Big mistake. I soon switched that to sociology. Another mistake, because I realized there was so much theory and so much reading. And when I was in school, professors didn't talk to you, they talked at you. And so they did all this lecturing and regurgitating their, philosophies and theories and stuff, but they didn't wait to hear from the student. They weren't checking for understanding. They weren't checking to make sure that you, the student, was part of the process, the learning process. And so I jumped around for majors, didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then I ended up landing in business administration. I felt like it was more solid because my thinking was I would land a job, a secure job, and something that I liked, because my goal was to only get in corporate America. That's how I saw myself. I only wanted to be in corporate America. I never thought about anything else. I never thought about being an educator. I never thought about military. My goal was strictly to be in corporate America. And so after landing in corporate America, my first professional gig was as a bank auditor in Eastern North Carolina. And I loved the company and I loved the people that I worked with. I just didn't like the work. I didn't love the work. So it was internal auditing. And so basically it was very routine. You're looking at internal controls and procedures and policies all day. You go out to these branches and you do these internal audits, and, you're the bad guy as the auditor. People don't like the auditor. And so I would always make little notes about the employees whenever I would visit the branches, like something personal, a personal note, so that I could, get them to warm up and talk to me. And so that made my job a little bit easier, but I still didn't love that job. And so I knew that I had to go back and get my master's degree, which was something I totally never planned to do. And I remember when I graduated from UNC Charlotte, I knew I was never going to go back, and someone was going to have to pay me to go back to school because I was done. Undergrad was such a struggle for me academically. I just had no desire to go back and get a master's degree. But things changed. I knew I was so bored in my current position. I wasn't challenged. I wasn't growing. Not just professionally, but mentally I wasn't growing. Intellectually, I wasn't growing. And so once I decided that I was going to go back and get my master's in library science after a series of career aptitude tests, I have had the opportunity to work in, various aspects of librarianship. So I've been able to work in public libraries. I've worked in academic libraries, of course. I'm in one currently. I've worked in a bank library. I've worked in a hospital library, school librarianship for was that 11 or 12 years? I can't remember. And so that was an area I definitely thought I would never go into because I did not want to work with kids. And kids were a little bit intimidating, and I just didn't think I had that gifting to work with them and didn't know how to relate to them. But it turned out that I really loved it, but I also, again, was still loving what I do. And so, I guess I kind of stumbled into libraries in that I didn't think I had what it took to work with people. I didn't think I was a people person. And I realized, while I tell y'all I'm a social introvert, I do like being around people. It's just how I'm around people. And I like to control how I'm around people. And so I love my job. I love the satisfaction I get from helping students, break down the research process. So last week, I think I had 9 meetings with students about undergraduate research that they were going to be conducting and just helping them, navigate through the databases. And I had such an amazing group of students because they were students who actually had utilized the library databases. So they weren't, I'll say neophytes to the information process. They were, I'd say, intermediate. And so just showing them some of the tips and tricks and tools of library research and things to make it easier for them in terms of how they organize their research. It was so refreshing, and they had amazing questions and they were so engaged. And that's one of the reasons I love my job. And then when I'm able to help my professors, my colleagues, just process or determine how to get access to an information resource that we may not own, and, exploring some other options out there. And that's part of the reason, I wanted to be a librarian. Now, I say that hesitantly because I didn't want to be a librarian. Those career aptitude tests that I took kept pointing to this field, and I knew nothing about librarianship. I knew nothing. So I started interviewing librarians. I would go to the community college, I would go to public libraries, and I would start talking to the librarians, and I would ask them, why do you like your job? What do you like about your job? And what's a typical day like for you? And so I had to, because I didn't know anything about librarians. And most of my friends, y'all think, not even my friends, people think that librarians don't do anything but sit around shhing students all day. Shh, shh, shh. Well, that's not what we do. That's not what I did. And because I'm probably louder than the other patrons in the library. And so I say that to say, it's a completely different profession than what I thought it was going to be. It's totally different than what I thought I was walking into. Now, mind you, when I first came into the profession, I didn't have a clue. I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know how to be a librarian. And there was a point in my career when I thought I was going to give up on libraries because I had lost the passion. I didn't really understand how to do it and how to do it well. And I was going to walk away. And that is when God created an opportunity for me to walk away from corporate America, walk away from special libraries, and to go into school librarianship. And I started out at a high school in Charlotte. And I can just say that all of that, I guess, kind of led me to where I am now in terms of being in a community college setting which I really, really love. And I love the students. I love the environment. I love the energy. And, you know, I guess it just comes down to me like saying, giving the reins to God and saying, here, God, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know where I'm supposed to be, but I'm going to open myself up to trusting you. And you're going to need to direct my path and order my steps because I don't have a clue. And that's really how these last 26 years in librarianship have been, because I ended up in places and jobs and you know, opportunities that I never thought I would have ended up in. And I'm going to conclude with this and say, you know you're on the right track when God creates the opportunity for you, because this job I have at this college, I wasn't even looking for a job. And I remember it was December 2019. They contacted me and hold on. Yeah, it was 2019. They contacted me and asked me if I would consider, no, y'all, it was 2018, December 2018. And I got contacted by their HR department, asked if I would consider applying for a job, said they had an opening. And I was like, how did you get my name? I haven't applied for a job. And so they were basically telling me they got my name out of the American Library Association database. Y'all, I stuck my CV there like a year before and had forgotten about it. And I was already working somewhere else. So I told them I would consider it. I thought about it. I talked with my old supervisor about it, and she encouraged me to apply. And one thing she said that really stuck with me was that she didn't want to see me go, but she wanted to see me grow. Thank you. You know who you are. And I appreciate that encouragement, because I did apply for the job and I got the job, and I just kept advancing through the interview process. And I was like, oh my God, I'm finally going to get to work at this school at a community college. And it just has just been an amazing opportunity. And I work with amazing people every day. And I'm just so grateful to have my job. And I love my job. And I hope that you will be able to find your calling, your niche in your passion, whatever that is. And have a great day and have a great week. And I'll see you next time.